In a quiet clearing on the town's secluded beach, surrounded by the sound of crashing waves from the pitch-black ocean, a group of friends huddled around a crackling campfire. The storyteller, a young woman named Lena, spoke in hushed tones about the world where everyone had a place. Her voice grew serious as she described how, from birth, individuals were tagged with a small, unnoticeable implant that monitored their every move, word, and thought. No one really understood its purpose, but as far as everyone was concerned, it was just another part of their body. Her eyes gleamed in the firelight as she painted a picture of a young man who found himself thrust into this society from the outside world.
But wouldn't people want to rebel, to break free from that kind of control?
At first, you'd think so, but the system is ingenious. It's not about restriction or fear. It's about belonging, knowing you're valuable to society. Most people never question it.
But what does it look like? Is it all gleaming towers and robotic drones?
On the surface, it's surprisingly mundane. The architecture is a mix of the old and the new, with buildings that reach for the sky yet blend seamlessly with the natural landscape. The technology is woven into the fabric of everyday life. Anyways, back to my story. Alex stumbled into this world with wide-eyed wonder. He noticed the unspoken rules that governed their interaction and the subtle nods to something strange, and the way people moved with purpose, almost as if choreographed, was effortless. It was a society that thrived on order and efficiency.
Alex, the newcomer in her tale, began to unravel the threads of the society's deception. He discovered that the above controlled the narrative, feeding the populace a curated reality that kept them blissfully ignorant of the truth.
One day, while exploring the vast archives, Alex stumbled upon a forgotten file, a digital relic of the world before the implants. It spoke of freedom, of choice, and of a life where one's thoughts were their own. Feeling a spark of defiance ignite within him. The warm glow of the computer screen was the only light in the room as he dug deeper into the archives. He felt a cold dread deep up his spine when he realized his searches had triggered an alert. The system had noticed his curiosity, and now it was watching him closely. Within moments, a team of government officials in crisp white uniforms arrived at his door. They were polite, but the urgency in their eyes were unmistakable. Before he could protest, they led him into the clinical room, where the air was thick with a scent of sterilization and a faint metallic tang that made his stomach churn. The procedure was swift and painless. When he opened his eyes, the world looked the same, yet somehow different. He felt a new presence in his mind. He was now connected to the all-seeing, all-knowing network that governed their lives. This is where it gets interesting. Alex begins to see the world through the eyes of the above, experiencing the same feats that everyone else does. But he can't shake the memories of his former life.
You better not be ending the story like that.
But before she could correct him and go on, a sudden chorus of beeps and buzzes filled the quiet night, their phones lighting up in unison. They stared at the messages on their screen in disbelief, the words blurring together in a sea of urgency. The friends exchanged shocked glances, their hearts racing as the implications of Lena's story hit home. But Lena, you can't just leave us hanging like that. What happened to Alex?